Hello and welcome back to Dial H for Heroclix. I'm your sexy ranch hand co-host Kalder. This is episode 295. Howdy howdy, let's get rowdy.
My stuff.
Dial H for Heroclix is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock every day, including all the latest Heroclix singles and sealed products. Make sure you check them out at CoolStuffInc.com. Captain America set, guys. One more week. Get those orders in at Cool Stuff Inc. You know you want to. You know you got to. Scratch that Heroclix itch. Use code DIAL5 for 5% off your order. I'm not alone in the studio, more so than normal, because Simeon makes me feel like I'm basically by myself. But we have a guest.
When you're with me, it's like you're alone. Hey, it's like being alone.
No, don't. Please, no. We didn't
do a song.
No song intros this week. All right.
Okay.
So as always, Simeon, he already ruined everything by speaking before he's introduced. Mm-hmm. But then we're joined by special guest, KarlRonnie in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, thank you for the applause. Glad to be here.
Like always, when we have a guest on, we like to start with a few questions to get to know our guest. The first one being, how and when did you get into the game of Heroclix?
Hey, well, I first got into Heroclix when a couple of my friends came up to me and they're like, hey, you should try out this new game. It's like you can take Street Fighter and fight X-Men. And I'm always up for a new game, so I gave it a try. They gave me some pieces, we bashed them into each other, and the rest is history.
Awesome. Do you know what year that was? You said Street Fighter, so it was a little while ago, but you know what year you got into the game?
Yeah, I said Street Fighter, but I think I got in at the Age of Ultron.
Oh, okay.
And my friend didn't even have Street Fighter. It was just he was like,
for example, like there's all these crazy properties. Sure.
Pulled the rug right out from under me.
What are some of your favorite pieces or combo pieces that you like to play?
My favorite combos. Well, I guess my favorite power is enhancement. So I like getting little soldiers that have enhancement. Maybe even shield. My favorite trick is to perplex up range so that I can ensure that I can hit you without you coming back at me from the safety of my own couch.
It's like a shield team, kind of what you like to run usually type? Yeah? Enhancement, range up? Heck yeah. So typically, are you more of a meta or a casual player?
I'm definitely a casual player. Now theme teams are more readily available, but even before then, it like physically pained me to not build comic accurate teams or team ups. So I'm definitely in the casual.
Do you ever
area.
play like WKOs, rock tournaments like that at all, or is it just strictly casual?
I think the most competitive I've gone to are states events. So
okay, it's like
nice.
The Pauper states and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Right on. Simeon, you want to hit him with the fourth question there, bud?
Yeah.
You were still on top of it.
Since I was asking all of these questions. So, what's your favorite format to play? Do you like 300? You like higher points? What kind of rules you like?
I actually like Silver Age or Bronze Age or whatever, just a little bit past modern. And then maybe 400 or 500, just so you can get I like to build comic teams, and sometimes as opposed to the meta teams, so sometimes it's harder to lock those into 300 modern.
Yeah.
Also with the character. So yeah, Silver Age is just fun where it's at, can relax and clash.
For sure.
Awesome.
300 definitely feels a little too restricting at times.
Right. With all the modern servant society, I can only play 135, so there's no point in playing 300. And then, what's your usual venue where you play at weekly?
So I am out here in the Eastern Shore of Maryland, and the big venue in town is Phoenix Rising in Salisbury. So That's where I spend most of my time.
Awesome. And when do you guys play out there? Like, what day do you guys play?
We usually play on Thursdays.
All right. You heard that. Maryland area. Phoenix Rising, Thursdays. Go in there. Play some Heroclix. Have some fun. Well, awesome.
We're on the map.
Ooh.
The Dial H
That's
map
right. On the official Dial H map that you made for us. We should edit that and put... Okay, I was going to say something. I'm not going to say it anymore. I'm going to bypass that obvious joke as to not offend anyone. Yeah, no, absolutely. On the map, ladies and gentlemen. You can check...
Crap,
I'll say it after the show if no one's not reading the room. Anyways, I feel like I know you better already. So why don't, since you've got the mic, go ahead and tell us what made you happy this week, my man.
What made me happy, it's not in Heroclix, but my wife and I are working on doing remodels in the house. And we've got an entertainment system wall unit that we're about 80% done. I guess we just have to paint and then we'll be good. So yeah, that's real exciting.
DIY channel happening in real time there. I like that. I can dig it. Maybe not like totally busting through the bathroom, but I dig it. I like that kind of stuff. Simeon, what made you happy this week, my man?
This week, what made me happy was Netflix has a new series. It's like 3 episodes, but the episodes are super long. It's called Dracula. It's about these things called vampires. I don't know. They're real weird, and it's like some weird stuff. I think I don't know. It's pretty edgy even for Netflix, but like not the edgiest thing that Netflix does, but it's pretty edgy as far as like content wise. So I'd probably suggest not letting anyone under the age of, I don't know, like 16 view it. But it's a very interesting show, so that made me happy. Also, I got all my clicks cleaned up, so I got room for cap clicks now.
Ooh, there you go.
And that always makes me happy.
I just have a 5-gallon bucket with some tape on the side, just as cap set. That's my organization process. This week, I mentioned last week I was playing through the old Doom game in kind of preparation / not really for Doom Eternal. I was complaining about how it felt like it was taking forever, and then I think I fought one more mission and then the final boss, and it was literally over. So I was actually really close to the end there. So that made me happy. The second thing, though, kind of another thing, was I follow a guy on Instagram. His handle is Time2Mast. So I exist. If you know or don't know, he goes by Martin. He's kind of a pseudo internet celebrity. He's kind of an odd duck, but he's a real funny guy. And he does live streams where he does push-ups. And he'll do these live streams like twice or so a day. And he goes live with random people. And after like stalking like every live stream and trying to request to go live with him, I finally went live with him, and I was at like a restaurant. So I ran outside, did push-ups in the parking lot. It was pretty fun. It was pretty great awesome. To be on live with someone. It was really cool. And yeah, he even said it's good to be on with some nice people sometimes. So, you know, what can I say? Just a nice person. So yeah. Moving on, there is no news this week. It's Captain America pre-release. I hope everybody has been enjoying that. I hope you listened to the last episode and learned a thing or two about the Captain America sealed primer and everything. But we're going to go ahead and move on to a fun segment that we like to call Casual Comparisons.
I don't know. Fly casual.
So if you haven't been listening for the longest time, Casual Comparisons is a segment where the guest chooses a character, and then all 3 of us choose a Heroclix figure that we think best represents that character. We go into the reason why, a little bit about their powers, and why we think that character represents, or why we think that Heroclix figure represents that character, and why we think it's best, you know, for casual play and just overall accuracy. We each take turns, and then we vote on the end, and that'll become the official Dial H for Heroclix version of that character. Ronnie, since you're the guest, why don't you go ahead and tell us who we're covering this week, and go into your pick.
So for this week, we've delved into the DC universe.
Ooh.
Just to make sure it gets an appropriate amount of love, at least more than once per year. And we are looking at the best Green Lantern,
which is true.
Gardner.
I didn't even tell him to. Well, not necessarily. I didn't even force this pick, guys. I want you to know he said Guy Gardner before I said anything else. All right. So
No, Guy's a Marylander.
That's right. No, that's true. But all right, why don't you go ahead and tell us what the Guy Gardner you chose?
Okay, so for my choice, I went with the War of Light uncommon Red Lantern Guy Gardner. There's not a whole lot of Guy Gardners to choose from, but before this latest OP set, this Red Lantern guy was the cheapest. And from a story point of view, when Guy joined the Red Lanterns, he kind of came into his own. As far as comics were concerned, they had a hard time pinning down what it was Guy meant to everyone. But when he became a Red Lantern and, eventually, spoilers, started to lead the Red Lanterns, he kind of gained a real personality that, I personally enjoyed reading. Down to the figure, like I said, it's until recently the cheapest of the Guy Gardners. Guy is typically a brawler, and this 88-point Guy Gardner has charge, flurry, sidestep. He's one of the highest attacks, so he can really get in there and deal some damage. He has it, and then he starts off with toughness, but leans down into combat reflexes. So hopefully by then you're physically in the brunt of it, which is where Guy wants to be.
Right on. I like this a lot. Normally do a little bit of a thing about the character, but for people that don't know, I think Guy's fairly well known, but he tends to leap first in the fight without thinking. He's very, kind of semi-irrational. He's really cocksure, full of himself style character, kind of a jerk, kind of like jokes at inappropriate times. Like Simeon, always making terrible jokes at just the worst times and ruining the show.
If he was a turtle, would he be a blue or a red turtle?
But what is that though? That's not even a joke. That's just
Raphael.
Oh,
that's
shut up.
The joke
probably
is
Raphael.
I don't know. Turtles.
Anyways, geez, but yeah, you can totally see, especially when he first became a Red Lantern, it was just totally out of pure random rage during War of Light. Well, not random rage, someone died. So, and then he just went to going berserk. So I do like this style for that pick. Simeon, tell us about your pick, my man.
Guy Gardner that I had to go with was our newest, our fearless D19002, the first and the first of a monthly LE Guy Gardner that we got. He came with the John Stewart and the Kyle Rayner. This is the cool close combat of the three, and he's got the Green Lantern core team ability, which means he can carry 8. He's got the real sweet trait that lets him carry flyers. Finally, I've always said that Green Lanterns should be able to carry flyers because they do it in literally every medium except Heroclix. So finally, he's able to do that. He starts with Charge, Quake, and Invulnerability, and he doesn't really do anything other than that until he gets hit a little bit. And so once he gets hit, he gets a little bit angrier. He gets some Charge, Flurry later in the dial, and then he gets Close Combat and Giant Reach of 3 mid-dial. So I just really like this guy because mostly because the keywords. They gave him Brute, they gave him Green Lantern Core, and they gave him Warrior. So if I'm ever going to build a Warrior team and I really want to carry 8 of them up, this will be the one I pick.
Right on.
Nice.
I went with, this is still probably my favorite Guy Gardner to field today, even though he hasn't aged the best, but I went with War of Light 104, the LE Guy Gardner. He's a bit beefier than these two guys. He costs a lot more. He's 120 points. But I really like it because he has the construct trait, which I thought was really neat. So he can start with any construct, and then he can swap it out as a power or free action depending on the point value later. But one of my favorite abilities that he has is the get in your face for his first 3 clicks, his speed power. Is he can use charge. You give him a move action, and if he ends his move adjacent to an opposing character, the move action counts as a free action instead. He can use Battle Fury until that character is KO'd. So I normally run him up there, and it's great because he also starts with Precision Strike on both his top dials. You run him up there with the Boxing Glove or something. He gets right up next to somebody. The move action's a free action. He has a 4 damage. If it's like a weaker character, you could pump them like an 11 for 5 or 12 for 4, or you can just hit them for 6 if you have enough perplex on your side or prob. So I always love that about Guy Gardner. I love him just running across the board and just punching someone, just whapping them with the boxing glove. And then he has that will ability that a lot of the lanterns had. I gotta say I did prefer them just having traded willpower. So instead he only has willpower on like clicks 1 and 2 and then 4 and 5, which is the whole willpower. And when they would get outwit or perplex, instead they ignore the effect on a dice roll. And his sidestep down dial is called Wanna Grab a Brewski, which I just really appreciate, like that little extra bit for Guy Gardner. So overall, this Guy Gardner really cool. He also has a lot of the same keywords: Green Lantern Corps, Justice League International, Warrior. Sadly, no Brute. But yeah,
no
this was
Brute.
No Brute. But no, I play this Guy Gardner countless times, and I love him. I just love coming across the board and just punching people for some mad damage right away. And those are our choices. We kept it pretty brief, so hopefully everyone appreciates that. If they're like, okay, talking about Guy Gardner, sure, man. But now it is time to vote. So whoever we all thought did the best job of representing the Emerald Lantern, the best Green Lantern, after all, cast our votes now. We'll do it in reverse order. I love Guy as a Red Lantern. More so than a Green Lantern. Like you said, he came into his own, like eventually even leading them. But I kind of like Guy more as a Red Lantern. It's so weird. Like, I don't really like him as any other style of Lantern more besides maybe being a Green Lantern. But when he was a Red Lantern, he was just a boss. Like, the whole time. Even, like, he never, he took a heel to Atrocitus or anything. Like, half that storyline was him, like, working against him, too. So, I'm going to have to vote. Even though, like, the only thing I don't like about this figure is that it doesn't have flight, which I get it. Some figures in that set had to not have flight. It's weird, but that's the way it is. But I'm going to cast my vote for the Red Lantern Guy Gardner. I love the charge flurry right away. I love the high attack values. It's just really cool.
Yeah, I got to go with the Red Lantern as well.
Okay.
They're not my favorite Lantern Corps, mostly because I don't like Atrocitus that much, and he's kind of like the head one for like most of, like, if you're team building kind of thing, he's got to be on it. But I love the like righteous vengeance that all like Red Lantern backstories kind of have. Even though they're like the bad guys in most storylines, I just really like the backstory that like led them to the path of the Red Lantern ring, and I always enjoy some penetrating damage. So the penetrating poison mid dial. That was always a fun part of running Red Lantern stuff, so I got to give it to that guy.
Awesome. And Ronnie?
Well, since there's so few Guy Gardners, let's talk about all the rest of them first. But no,
yeah, let's talk about Star Sapphire guy. What's he do?
Yeah, I've played a lot of the War of Light Green Guy Gardner. He always just seems kind of bland. And the reverse, I haven't got to really play the newest Guy Gardner yet. I'm extremely hopeful, but I really love the personality of Guy, and I feel like the Red Guy Gardner has the personality. He's definitely special.
Right on. And the thing I really like about him a lot was he was a really well-needed upgrade from the last Red Lantern. But that guy was a lot more points, and he started with the 12 phasing. There was no rush. He had to rush in, but then he just had to sit there and wait. And then if he had no action tokens, he could use Close Combat Expert. Like, come on, man, I've got Indom. Like, how many times is that really gonna pop up? He had ESD top. It was just really weird. He didn't feel like that moment in comics at all. So right. I was really happy when we got the new Red Lantern. But yeah, that is our official Guy Gardner pick. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're ever building a team and you want to build around it, let's do one secondary pick, since he does only have the Red Lantern Corps keyword. I agree. Yeah. Well, speaking of the Guy Gardner, yeah, say something, Simeon. Say something. What do you got to say about the topic? Yeah.
So the Gardner that I really like is actually the rare from Avengers Black Panther Illuminati. So you can put down a hindering marker, and then make a close attack as free through that marker.
Oh, it's this construct, right? Wow.
Yeah,
so
it's like
cool.
a construct made of dirt.
And he's also a guy.
Yeah, he's a guy. He's a gardener. Yeah.
Well, he's a
Top
gardener.
marks, WizKids. Like,
Jeez.
he's made top 8 at Worlds, so.
Oh yeah.
You know.
I mean, what was that? Was that Micah playing him? Mika, however he says it. Probably offended someone.
I think he was. I want to say he was also on.
Dustin's team, maybe. Who knows?
Might have been on. Yeah, he was on some teams.
Who plays attention to that? A good figure was on a good team at a high event. Who would have thunk? All right, so that is casual comparison. I still think my choice is the best, obviously, but that's not who I voted for. Just saying. If they make a version just like that guy, but with better stats, since he's really totally not worth 120 points for that 7 clicks anymore, I'd love it. I'd really love if they made a Yellow Lantern Guy Gardner when he had his own run in the 90s for a while. I really enjoyed that version of Guy Gardner, as weird and wacky as that run was. I would still like to see that come to light one day.
I'm waiting for the Blue Lantern Guy Gardner from Future's End.
Ooh, yeah.
Then we can come back and talk about this all over again.
Yeah, exactly. We'll have you back on the show once we make, if they ever make more Guy Gardners, goodness gracious. But if they make
I would
all
love
the
a
ones we need,
Future's End sub theme.
that'd
Yeah,
be cool. That'd be really cool. I dug the way he looked as a Blue Lantern too. It was pretty sweet. But all right, moving on to the game that's sweeping the nation, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna do Bad Samaritan. Before we get into it really quick, let me explain the rules. It's going to be Simeon and Ronnie on a team against me. I have 3 random Heroclix figures sitting in front of me right now. Well, on a website, not actually physically sitting in front of me. And they will have a chance to guess on each figure. We're going to do 3 rounds, all right? 3 rounds and 3 mini rounds within those rounds. Follow with me here. It gets a little complicated. 1 figure at a time. They will get 1 clue at a time. Then they will get 1 guess in that round. Then we'll move on to the second round. They'll take that first clue into consideration, get a second clue, and then make another guess, 1 each. And we'll do so 3 times. And if they don't get it by the end of it, they're going to hear a sound like this. But if they guess that figure right, they're going to hear a sound like this. And you can always go ahead and pause the podcast after I give a clue, and you'll be able to make your own deductions and guesses. Simeon, do you have a random number generator for me?
of course I do.
Okay, well, why don't you spindle it in, that random number, and I'll go ahead and give you guys the first clue.
Clue number 1 is 2.
Team ability. Ooh, clue number 1 is number 2. Sorry, excuse me. It's going to be point value, ladies and gentlemen. This character is 60 points.
60 points. Man. That does not... Let's see.
So, is the new Captain America set
It is not
involved
modern.
in this?
It is not modern yet, so it is not
Okay.
counted. So we only do modern. So the oldest set is going to be Elseworlds, and the newest set is going to be WWE. Oh, I guess it's actually X-Men Deep Cuts, technically. But WWE, Orville, X-Men Deep Cuts all came out around the same time. So That is the latest set. Captain America set does not become modern legal until a week after its official release. So we're still a few weeks away from that.
Well, man. So WizKids have been doing a lot of 50 point and 75 and 100. They don't usually cut to 60. So it's got to be a character they don't really care that much about, and they added 10 points to it for no reason. I want to say Rescue, but for some reason I want to say she's 75.
The first thing that came to my mind was the Batman from Elseworlds.
Okay, yeah. Elseworlds would be a good guess because that was before they really started pushing the new point formula or point locked in segments. I'm gonna say, let's see, I'm gonna say Enigma.
Ooh,
because I don't remember what the point value is, and I'm just hoping it's close to 60.
Okay, so we have Simeon locked in for Enigma.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna stay with Batman.
Batman. Okay. And if
It's a wide.
It is a ride, and you're keeping up with the guessing Batman on the show, and I love it. When they say a character, that'll cover their whole real name, anything. So if he says Batman, means Bruce Wayne. It's going to be every Batman in modern, so it's a pretty safe bet. All right, it's not going to necessarily get you the Batman Who Laughs, but it will get you every normal Bruce Wayne Batman. With that being said, one for Batman, one for Enigma. It is going to be on to round 2. Those are both wrong. So, second clue, Simeon. See if we can give you some more leeway here.
Second clue is going to be a 16.
Ooh, 16 is going to be opening damage power. This character has printed on their dial leadership as their opening damage power.
Leadership, opening damage. For 60 points. That means they're more of a mover and a shaker, not just like one of these President Osborn types that stays in the back and doesn't attack. Let's see.
And it's the highest point value.
Yes, so
right.
Whenever I say top dial, it's going to be their highest point value. If it's a character that has multiple dials, like a X-Men recruit, one of those guys, it's going to be their click number 1.
Right.
So, said printed, so that means it's not like one of the traded leadership guys.
No, that's what printed means.
I'm going to go with Cyclops, because I know we've got a 60-point Cyclops out there somewhere in Modern.
Okay, so we have one vote for Cyclops. We probably have almost 8 or 9 Cyclopses in Modern right now, don't we?
Yeah, and who's a better leader than old Scotty?
Any other X-Men, actually. That aside.
Or Avenger.
Avenger. Okay.
60 points has still got me. Yeah, dead air. 60 points has still got me a little confused.
It's just right out of the range where you're like, this guy's 50, this guy's 50, this guy's 75. Yeah.
Is it just weird enough?
It's just
perfect.
Off enough.
You've fallen into my trap, you fool. All right.
Let's see, are there any Captain Americas that are 60 points?
The shifting focus are 75, I believe.
Yeah, and there's a lot of 50s.
There's a lot of 50s. There might be a 60-point one that I haven't thought of, but the Avengers Black Panther one is 90 or 95 with the 5-point trait, and then he's getting technical points.
Do you have any second thoughts?
The Chase one is 150. So I would just guess a random leader. Maybe Storm. She's also an X-Man leader. What's Blue Aim? Is he 50? Because he's right?
Blue starts off with Prob.
Oh, he starts off with Prob. Okay.
Any of the Magia 60 points from Earth X?
See, that I was thinking that, but I think that theirs are all traded because they bring in the hired flunkies.
Right.
So that's part of their trade. I don't think they've actually got it printed. There might be a Black Panther that's got it printed.
Okay, I'll lock in Black Panther.
All right, so we have one for Black Panther, one for Cyclops, and the most painful talk about modern Captain Americas I ever had to sit back and listen to. That is going to be on to round 3. Oh, shucks. Give you guys another clue here. See if you can make some headway on the old guessing game here. Simeon.
I'm going to lie and say it's not 4.
So it's 4. That is going to be set number, the all-important, incredibly crucial set number. It's going to be 017.
So it's uncommon. I'm guessing. That's rough.
It is rough.
Uncommon, 60 points. Oh.
Did the Xavier's school, no, Kitty was 40 points. And it was traded leadership. Don't listen to me.
The listener doesn't have a choice.
Oh, no. Scream at your radios louder. I can't hear you.
So Cable's 75.
If someone
Not
knows who
Cable.
this is, like unironically and like genuinely, I'll be very surprised. These are terrible clues.
Yeah. It's like, it's pretty bad. Man. I'm just trying to think of like a leader that it's going to be on like the peripheral because WizKids didn't care enough to give it a round number, so it's 60 points. So it's going to be like the leader of like the Serpent Society or like a leader of Batroc's Brigade or something silly that nobody cares about.
You're almost right.
I'm trying to think of a sub-theme. We already guessed a Wakanda leader. There could be like a Storm or a Shuri that's a leadership piece. I really want to say it's like... I know that it's like Okoye, is she 60 points? I'm going to go with that one. I'm going to say, wait, is she uncommon? I think she's a rare.
How much of the set did you play? Come on, man.
I don't know.
This is so painful.
I'm gonna lock in Okoye.
We did like 3
And-
field events in that set.
I did so
However
many sealed.
battle royales.
Yeah, I did so much sealed, and I still don't know. I played Nakia today as well. I didn't turn her into Malice though, because the true Malice is in my heart when I roll the crit miss and she dies. I can hear you mumbling, Kalder. I don't appreciate it. It's
We got
true
2
though.
more figures after this.
The Batman 17 is Riddler. He wouldn't have leadership.
I'm locking in Okoye.
All right, Okoye locked in.
Just in case.
Just in case.
How about dip back to Elseworlds? The Wonder Woman, the Diana Prince had leadership, right? Was that an uncommon, or was she common?
There was an uncommon. I think the Justice Rider was common.
Okay.
I want to say she was like 14.
Yeah.
I played that recently. Yikes! I don't. Yeah. Elseworlds I've played so sparingly over the last couple.
So wonder.
Hard choices, gentlemen.
Yep. Okay. Well, let's just cast another wide net. Who do we have a lot of? You went with Okoye.
Yeah, I was trying to hedge my bet, and that was a bad idea. Iron Man doesn't usually get leadership. You already guessed Black Panther. We guessed.
Right.
Did we guess a Captain America?
You do not actually guess Captain America now.
That's always like a safe-ish bet, but I don't remember one from 60 points in the uncommon slot. But Captain America is usually a safe-ish bet, just because he always has leadership.
Yeah, he always has leadership. All right, I can go with that.
All right, so for Captain America and Okoye locked in. I really hate to do this to you guys, but it sure looks like that is 1 point for me. We were looking at, from Star Trek, Resistance is Futile, none other than 017, Commander Elizabeth Paula Shelby. Commander Shelby, if you will.
What a gal. You,
what a gal.
Kalder. How dare you. Using my own Trek against me.
I know. I was like it's... If you would have gotten maybe Starfleet keyword, do you think you would have got it? Or probably
no. If it was just Starfleet the last one, I probably would have gone with like Picard or Riker over Shelby. Shelby would have been hard either way, yeah.
Awesome. So I did good. I honestly don't know who she is, so I was hoping no one cared. And it certainly seems that way. Moving on to figure number 2, clue number 1, Simeon. Give me a number.
Number 19.
Ooh, number 19. So 17 through 20 are free plays. You can choose any clue from the entire board. Popular choices are things like named keyword or set or rarity, etc., etc. Name of trait is pretty popular. I know people love generic keyword, improved movement or targeting, range, number of bolts. Those are always prime choices. So it is up to you guys what clue you want, and I can read them all off if you want to know everything.
Do you want to go with the set to narrow it down to a single set?
Yeah, that'll get us in the ballpark.
All right. The set is going to be Avengers Infinity.
Ooh, the colossally ones. Well, since that's all we have to go on, I'll just say Nebula, because that was in that set.
She was. Ooh, ah.
There's also 2 tigers in the set, and I think that's like 3 photons, maybe? 2 star foxes?
Ooh, I don't know about that. Yeah, 2 star foxes. Sure. I don't know about the photons, though.
Yeah, you wouldn't know about photon torpedoes, Kalder.
I wouldn't know. Yeah, you're right. Huh.
With your Commander Shelby.
What a fool I am.
How dare you. Can't believe you've done this.
How about Pip?
Pip. So we
Pip
have
the
one for Pip the Troll and one for Nebula. It is going to be neither of those. Such a bummer. Gonna have to do the next clue. Round number 2, figure number 2. Simeon, give me a number.
5.
5 is gonna be rarity. This figure is a common.
Ooh. So that cuts out all the giants for us. Commons were like
Basic Avengers.
You know, the commons from that set that I always play. Star-Lord, was he one? I confuse commons and uncommons. I want to say Star-Lord was a common, so I'm going to go Star-Lord.
Who?
Star-Lord,
Right.
Kalder.
Okay, I know. All right, we have
Is the
one
internet
locked in.
cutting out? Can you not hear me?
I hate you so much. Yeah, we have
Are you
one for
harassing me?
Star-Lord.
How about Black Widow?
All right,
She
one
was a
for
common.
Star-Lord. One for Black Widow. It is going
The
to
worst
be...
Black Widow.
She is
Yeah,
terrible.
that's why I thought maybe he picked it.
It is going to be, sadly, neither of those. Figure number 2, round number 3 of clues. Simeon, give me a number.
Number 6.
Number 6. Oh boy, it's going to be named keyword. This character doesn't have any.
Wow.
Ooh, ego antibody is my guess then. Because I want to say that most of the other commons in that set had like at least shield. There's shield. There was guardians. There was. I think that's it. There's shield and guardians. Whatever the primes were. The
Wow, such disrespect.
Space
for the
Knights.
Space there. Yep,
Is
there
that
you go.
there we go. I know Rom was one. He wasn't in the set.
He wasn't in the set. All right, so locked in for ego antibody.
All right, you mentioned was there a shield generic?
There was, because there was a Nick Fury. There's like a Nick
What
Fury
was it?
Jr., which is like the Sam Jackson kind of Nick Fury. But then
Yeah.
there was like a shield generic that shared his sculpt. I don't remember what it did. I think it had like the flight symbol, but no passenger. It was like 0 passenger with flight. And And I remember thinking, like, you really should have given this character a passenger for 40 points, because now no one will play it ever, because it's 40 points, and it's awful. I'm trying to think of, like, any kind of other generic that was in the set, and...
Was he like he had the bubble helmet. Was he a shield space agent or something?
You don't have to get the name totally right. I know exactly what you're talking about. So
okay,
like I can see the figure.
The shield guy.
Is that what you're gonna?
Yeah.
I did say no named keywords, right? Just double checking.
Oh yeah, shield would be.
Yeah, we definitely have shield.
Okay, so no. Oh.
I don't want you to waste your last guess here.
We get one more, right?
No, this is the third round for this character.
Yeah, we've got set, we've got rarity, and we've got keyword.
Named keyword, which is none.
Named keyword, which was none, which was such a good clue. So glad that my random generator's helping me.
Well, I can't think of another generic. So.
Yeah.
Just want to throw one out there.
I can't think of...
Soldier.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. Well, thank goodness Simeon is on your side, because he's right. It's the ego antibody, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
So that
I want to say that might be the only one in the common slot without a named keyword.
That very well could be. That could have been his downfall. Oh, man. We almost got him past you. Almost. So close. And you were like, boom, no named keyword, ego antibody, just right away.
I play them all the time. Plasticity, sidestep, super strength, toughness.
So lame.
Oh, man. I love me some antibodies.
Moving
my
on. So that's 1 point me, 1 point Simeon. Ronnie, you got to get this last one right. Even up the game here.
I'm sharing.
Everybody goes home. All right. Simeon, last figure. Give me the first clue.
First clue, last figure, number 14.
Number 14 is going to be opening attack power. This character does not have an opening attack power. So
opening
helpful.
attack power.
Excellent.
Wow.
You utter fool. You buffoon. You fell right into my trap. You absolute imbecile. How could you?
No opening attack power. So
random jump raider.
So many
did exactly what I wanted you to do.
So many characters. I'm gonna say Iceman because Chris got me with that one last time, and he has no opening attack power. So
okay. So one for Iceman.
All right.
This is tough.
So they could still have like an attack power, but
traded or something.
A
but
trait.
Like printed on their dial. They have no opening attack power.
Yeah, I'm trying to think this through. No opening attacks. All the caps even have precision strike or something else. How about a? Yeah. I'm trying to think of characters that might have traits to replace it. Maybe something from...
I think there's a few WWE characters that have no attack power, but they're like the ones that I have not played yet. Like I think Finn Balor might have no attack power on one of them. There's literally so many characters out there with no attack power.
Yeah. I can roll with Finn Ballard.
Finn Balor. 1 vote for the demon. Simeon, what was yours again? I feel bad. I feel really bad. I forgot it.
Yeah, you should, because I totally remember
No!
what I said.
It was Iceman.
Iceman. Yeah,
Iceman, that's right. That's right. Iceman and Finn Balor, the ice giant and the demon. It's going to be a negative for those two, though. Moving on to round 3, clue 2. Here we go. Simeon, give me a number.
Clue 2. 13. I think this generator only knows pluses and minuses.
Is opening movement power. That is going to be hypersonic speed.
Hypersonic speed, no attack. Well, that's even stranger. So hypersonic.
I don't think we have too many hypers.
Yeah, that makes me think of Flash, but Flash usually gets a precision strike thrown in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Although Flash would cover at least 2 sets out of modern.
And most of the hypersonic.
Yeah, most of the hypersonic we see. I think the Captain Marvel from ABPI has hypersonic and no attack power. Like 45.1. I'm gonna go with Captain Marvel.
Okay, so we have 1 for Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers. Her.
Carol Danvers.
Carol. Call me Carol.
Yeah, not that Billy Batson Captain.
Yeah, not that fool. Stupid
Lost
idiot.
the ability to be named
Lightning.
that because DC
For legal
sued
reasons.
somebody, and that's their own fault. How dare you sue people, DC?
If you're one of those people that still says Shazam, don't you mean Captain Marvel? No, you lost that name and you lost the right to say it.
In the silliest way.
In the silliest
in the
way.
silliest,
terrible way.
The silliest
And you
way
know
to
what?
lose.
When Marvel saw that you guys messed up, they were like, well, we'll just keep making a character named Captain Marvel no matter how convoluted we gotta make it happen. So they deserve it, alright? They're like, well, this guy, then he'll die. We'll do this chick. And then this other chick, and then it's sticking around now. She's got it. She's got it on lock. There's a few
Didn't
others.
he die
There's
from
one other
like
guy.
cancer?
Yeah, he straight up died from cancer. Man, that sucks.
Such a weird. I think the
too
Wizard
real for my
also
comics.
died from cancer. It was like, wow. Gwen Stacy gets like
wow,
cool
like,
death, and then
yeah,
like,
right?
the Wizard's like, I'm an old runner man, and Marvel's like, yep,
Jeez.
this is a good storyline.
Gracious.
It's like, no, Marvel, please don't.
I mean, to be fair,
Marvel
that
was
was like
like,
half
yeah.
of the people that died in Watchmen. Well, besides the end of Watchmen, but like, whatever. Anyways, all right.
So what were we doing?
We had 1 for Captain Marvel. Well, we were playing a game, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hypersonic speed, no attack power. Your clues. Simeon for round 2 voted for Captain Marvel.
I want to go with a Flash, but a lot of the Flashes I was thinking of rotated out, so I want to, or have Precision Strike. So I want to go with Kid Flash.
Ooh,
Elseworlds,
look at that
yeah.
curveball. Kid Flash, Captain Marvel, 2 people that got their moniker handed down and whatnot, but it's neither of those. Ooh, that sure does sting. Oh boy, ouch, that hurts. All right, next up, round 3, clue number 3. Give it your best shot, guys.
That's
Simeon.
clue number 9.
Number 9 is going to be range and number of bolts. This character has 8 range and 1 bolt, guys.
8 range, 1 bolt.
Now, the Chase Cannonball from the Cyclops and Wolverine set.
I have looked at it once.
Okay.
So Cannonball usually has charge, but I don't know. You'd have to tell me because I have not looked at that one enough to know if he has hypersonic or not.
I haven't played. I thought he no, maybe it's like hypersonic speed, but it's kind of move and then deal damage at the end.
Oh.
Okay.
So there's a Starfire that has. All right, what are the clues that we've got right now? We've got
Hypersonic speed and
hypersonic
no
speed,
attack.
no attack, and
8 range, 1 bolt.
8 range.
1 bolt.
Okay, yeah. So I want to say the Starfire from Rebirth or the Speed Force Deathstroke from Rebirth, because they both start with hypersonic and a range. I don't know if
I like
either of them have
Starfire.
range. You want to take Starfire?
Yeah. I'll take Starfire.
8 range is a lot for hypersonic. Yeah, I'll go with the Deathstroke.
All right, Simeon locked in for Deathstroke. Ronnie locked in for Starfire. It is going to be that I'm taking home 2 points this week.
Boo.
It was none other than Elseworlds 027 Superman, aka Zod.
Mm.
You guys are really close. DC guesses.
He doesn't even have a super strength.
Close. He actually has traded super strength.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
It's part of the. Do you think I care how many of you I kill? What a guy! What a nice guy! What a good dude. I was really hoping you get like generic keyword, and then I could hit you with like spy, or maybe really throw you off, give you like Justice Society, make you think of like the 8 Justice Society characters we have left. That aren't
Like
super
Flash.
But
And,
we still got really bad ones. And just when you got hypersonic, I was actually like, Superman could have hypersonic. It's pretty realistic. But you never even said his name. Man, I really skated by. That was close.
Yeah. Honestly, Superman with hypersonics is like fairly rare. Like it
is
uncommon, but it's like the better ones usually have charge for whatever reason.
That's true. For sure. And that ends Bad Samaritan. I hope everybody had a blast playing. Thanks to Simeon for not letting me take home a sweep this week. Thank you, Ronnie, for coming in the studio and playing it with us. It's always a joy. Go ahead and go into the community section this week.
There are dozens of us. Dozens!
All right. Ronnie, did you get a chance to play in any pre-releases at all for the Captain America set?
No, I have not been able to play in the Cap pre-releases.
Perfect. So your answer probably hasn't changed then. This Community Tuesday's question was, who from the Captain America set are you most excited to play and pull? Ronnie, what was it for you?
I want to pull Thunderbolts, particularly Atlas and Songbird.
Ooh, good choices. Yeah.
I like playing them. I think they're good. Prob and Sealed is great. A Retaliator. But
There's not a lot of prob in this set either, so...
Right.
Yeah, I had to play...
If you can get the Assembled Bolts and Masters trait to go off, let me know. Like, if anyone can do that, I'd be so curious to see like how like more crucial, how helpful that is, honestly, just because of how many figures you need for it to work, at least 3. So yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
I saw it go off once. Yeah.
Ooh, nice. Simeon, who do you want to pull / play in this set? I know you played in the pre-release, but keep that figure out of your mind.
I wouldn't. I can't say the figure.
I mean, you can if you want. If you want to pull him again, sure. Like,
I don't know why I would turn down pulling him again.
Who was it? The listener's like, who? Tell me now.
The figures that I really want from this set are Machinesmith and Mandarin, and other than that, I want like a bunch of generics. And I guess Captain Marvel. So Machinesmith, Mandarin, Captain Marvel are my big 3 wants. If I could pull one of those in Sealed, I'd be happy that I had it. I don't know if I'd necessarily win with it, but I'd be happy that I had it.
Okay. It's Omaha WKO. Who do you want to pull?
Omaha WKO, I want to pull Ultron again.
You scumbag. I mean, that's pretty fair, but...
No, so, yeah, I did play in a pre-release, and I pulled Ultron, and it turns out that, like, a 14 attack where people top out with, like, 18 defenses in this set, even if they have, like, a 19 or a 20 from, like, Energy Shield or something, yeah, you only need, like, a 6 to hit, and it's pretty silly. I did play against the Songbird that managed to get a single target pulse wave off on me and then remove an action token, and even though it didn't like help win the game for him, I was like, that's a pretty cool move. Like, that's pretty neat. He actually had a team that was split between, he had 3 Avengers and 3 Masters of Evil, so he was able to do like the remove a token on like anyone that attacked. It was crazy.
Oh, he actually pulled both Songbird and Atlas, right? Was that the same team?
Yes. Yeah, that same team had Songbird, Atlas, Happy Hogan, Singularity, and there's another close attacker guy, Power Man.
Okay.
And so, yeah, he had 3 like Thunderbolts and then 3 Avengers because there's like some cross keyword stuff. And so if any of them hit, any people with like the assembled stuff hit, they could remove tokens. He only got it the one time, but it was cool when it did happen.
Awesome. a figure I really, really so badly want to pull is that War Machine. I love him a lot. I really want to play him in sealed. I want to see how well he rocks and rolls, dude. And I love a good War Machine. James Rhodes is my man. I love him more than Iron Man, and I think it's like just a beautiful War Machine. I think he fits so well. Simeon, we're only gonna do 3, reading 3 off this week. So why don't you go ahead and go with your first one over there on Facebook?
All right, number 1 on Facebook, Salvador Lopez says Spider-Man, Immortal Hulk, and Old Cap. I imagine by Old Cap he means Steve Rogers, the rare.
Right on. First one on Twitter is going to be Vigilante Collectible. He said, Codename Brava. Uh-oh, wait. Super Patriot. Oh, wait. The Sleeper. Oh, wait. The Power Broker. Oh, wait. The Voice. Oh, wait. A Watchdog generic. Oh, wait. Mother Knight. Oh, wait. Rock Python. Oh, wait. Boomslang. Oh, wait. A Dimension Z Cap. Oh, wait. Doughboy. Oh, wait. John Walker Cap. Oh, wait. I appreciate that, but also it really hurts on the inside reading all those awesome Cap characters that we missed. I would have killed for a Sleeper. All the Sleepers were so cool. They were like so menacing. I don't know, like there's like 3 or 4 really sick Sleeper comics, and they would like keep popping up later too. But like Sleepers were these just big robots that were just like Cap probably shouldn't have been Cap villains. Like they were literally underground at one time and just walking straight through the earth. And Cap was like, I really don't know how to deal with this. And it was so great. They made such good villains. How they could find cool ways to beat them. It was awesome. They were just these terrifying robots. So yeah, I really loved this answer.
Nice. Tyler Murin, along the same vein, says those really dope shifting focus caps. Oh wait. I mean the shifting focus Iron Mans. All those classic Cap villains. Oh, again, I mean all the Thunderbolts and Masters of Evil. Seriously, though, I like the superior foes of Spider-Man Baron Zemo slightly better than the ones from this set, but playing with him a lot of the new Thunderbolts and Masters of Evil will be fun. I agree. Nice. The superior foes Baron Zemo giving all Thunderbolts sidestep and +1 attack. I don't know how you'll top that with the new Baron Zemos. Not that they're bad. And, I mean, maybe mix like a Helmut and what's the other one? There's Helmut and...
Heinrich?
Yeah.
Heinrich Zemo, yeah.
Heinrich. So maybe you'll have one of each. I don't know how to say it.
Jeez.
I'm not. Oh my gosh. I'm not European.
All right. Second one on Twitter is gonna be Vigilante Ben Jones. Says the captain without that hammer. He'll put me one figure closer to completing this Avengers team. And then he also wants to get Beast from Evolutionary War. Got to paint up a Beast. But yeah, I'm really excited that they made finally the captain, but not holding Mjolnir. So that's pretty cool.
Nice. Last but not least on Facebook, Luis Reyes says Spider-Man, Captain Marvel, Steve Rogers, Mandarin, and Sharon Carter.
Some good ones.
I don't think you can go wrong with any of those.
No, absolutely not. And then on Twitter, Macavador says Cap, Peggy. I am upset with the Ultra Chase, but the Punisher, War Machine, and Steve Rogers that makes anyone an Avenger. Those 3 are a must. If you can get like a Cap, Peggy, Punisher, War Machine, like just awesome soldier team, tell me about it. That'd be sick. I mean, Super Rare Prime and an Ultra Chase somehow, that'd be amazing. That'd be like a super great team. But yeah, that is community. Before we roll on to the rest of community, I want to go ahead and thank Ronnie so much for coming on the show. And if you have anything you want to say before we part ways, feel free. Do shout outs, anything you want to do right now.
Hey, well, thanks for having me on here. Sorry, listeners, that my Bad Samaritan was so awful, but
we were awful together, so it's okay.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, if you happen to be out in the middle of nowhere that is Eastern Shore of Maryland, come look up Phoenix Rising in Salisbury and join us for a night on Thursdays.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on the show, man. You have a good one.
See ya.
I do like the Eastern Coast. So if you've never been to like Virginia Beach area or Maryland area, there's some sweet states. Virginia Beach is a city, but Virginia is a state. Calder. Don't yell at me before I'm finished talking.
sorry. I was really gonna rip into it too, but I just. All right, yeah. I should have waited it out.
Yeah. I was gonna explain my thought process. I've been to cities in states, and I enjoy the cities, so therefore I enjoy the states.
I'm sorry. Okay. Excuse me. Compose myself here. Moving on to Jedi Legends Heroclix Tip of the Week.
You don't want to sell me death sticks.
I don't want to sell you death sticks.
You want to go home and rethink your life.
I want to go home and rethink my life.
I gotta find it. Give me a second. Okay. Heroclix Tip of the Week. This is the most British way of describing this that he could have possibly chosen. The arrow through Harry Potter glasses. We don't see it often, but when it teams, I know, right? What? But when it teams up with the improved targeting symbol, happy days to you, my friend. You can shoot another opposing character X many squares away while adjacent to an opposing player. You just shoot while based. So instead of punching a guy, you're like, well, I got this ray gun. I think I'll just blast you with it while we're standing right next to each other. It's a good thing to keep in mind. It is, make sure you know it's in the pack. Make sure you read up on all those improved targeting abilities and what they do. It is a weird one to understand. Like at first glance, it doesn't totally explain itself. But yeah, shoot, 2 circles, 2 bases next to each other. You can shoot while based. The Harry Potter glasses. And
it does. The symbol does kind of look like it would be through characters, but it is not. The through character symbol is like the dark black, like base symbol.
Right. Yeah.
Also, shooting from adjacency is an inherent ability that giants and colossals both have. So keep that in mind if you have either of those.
And next up, to finish the show off, we have a Malcolm Rush question block.
That's in Japan!
Japan? No. I can't go to Japan.
All right, so talking about team bases. This is some ancient ways here. We haven't had to worry about team bases for years. The last team base that came out was in 2014, being the Zombies team base. And then that obviously rotated out sometime in 2016, maybe 2017-ish. So it's been a hot minute since we've had to worry about team bases. So let's talk about, for people who have never played a team base, how does it work? We are not going to read off how, solo adventure and working together and all that jazz works. But I'm going to tell you basically what a team base is, if you don't know. If you want to look it up, you can do so on HC Realms by looking up the Z-Virus team base, or you can also type in X-Men Blue Strike Force. That'll bring up team bases, Spider-Man, His Amazing Friends, etc., etc. So a team base was basically I believe it was a 2x4 figure, right? 2x4, I believe. 2x4 base, which had individual slots for certain characters that fit into it. This is where switch clicks come from. A modern switch click example would be, I can only think of Typhoid Mary right now, which is totally not modern. She's what would be
Professor X's kid?
Boom. Or all of the X-Men deep cuts, all of the X-Men or Genesis figures are switch clicks. They all had bases like that. But instead of just switching and then you can swap sculpts,
Legion.
Legion too. Those bases would go into a bigger base and they would be part of a team. So individual figures would pop off their sculpts, they would add to a team base, and then all of those sculpts together, you would pay 5 points per figure basically, and then that would be the whole team. So it made a really cool, a lot of the times it made a fun diorama for some of the Super Booster style team bases or exclusive ones, and their sculpts kind of played more to the background of the overall base itself. So that's basically a team base. Figures could pop off, go off by themselves, or you could do a whole bunch of actions in a row by using a team base. They also had a dial with normal powers and stuff like that. As such, a Heroclix would. That is the basis of a team base. So we'll go ahead and go into number 2, best, worst, and favorite team base. Simeon.
I think the best is easily the zombie. For people that don't know how team bases work, it's similar to a vehicle where you've got this one dial that's tanking a bunch of damage for you, but at any point you can just pop one of the people off and do an attack using their stats and their powers and whatever. And different from a vehicle, you could take or you'd get bonus powers depending on which characters you had on. But zombie team base was pretty one of the more busted ones for whichever reason. The
not because that the team
and,
base itself was good, but more or less the figures it popped off were really good.
Yeah. There's just so many options.
Do you have a worst?
Worst, I put Teen Titans. It's costed like the same as most team bases, but the figures that you're getting are like these at most like 75-point figures. It didn't have the kind of defense values that you would hope for, like clicks nowadays. So I didn't play it back when it was new, but I had played it like a few years ago, and it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's pretty bad. And then my favorite is going to be Spider-Man and Friends, or like the Trinity of Sin. I really like the team bases that are... So those are both 2x2 team bases, and they're both... I think they were both convention exclusive, or...
Correct.
Like
that's
LE
correct.
kind of style. Yeah. So I like them because the entire base was like thematic. So they were meant to be played on the base. They could be played on a single base, like their own dial, but their sculpt and everything like was meant to fit on that base. And I really like that aspect of it.
You know what I loved was people complaining back in the olden days that the Flash chases were all the Trinity of Sin, not really Flash related, and so people were miffed about that. And then the fact that they went to a team base, which was also convention exclusive. It's like, I got to get 3 chases. Now the convention exclusive one also had its own figures, but these ones were just different. And then, of course, later they made the zombies, which they were all chases. And then the team base was an LE figure. Not a con exclusive, but still an LE figure, so the rarity was still there. For me, I said best was zombies as well. I think it's really good. It's just solid team base. Worst one, though, was Outlaws. I played against it, and I was like, how is that possibly worth
with Red Hood
points?
And
Red
the
Hood,
others.
Starfire, and someone else. I don't honestly remember. I think Arsenal was there.
Artemis,
that guy.
or Arsenal,
Artemis
yeah.
or Arsenal. Yeah, one of them people.
Okay.
But
Sure.
it was bad. It was bad. And then my favorite is zombies. I like zombies. Do I feel bad playing it? Yep, sure do. But I'll play it anyways. I don't care. It's awesome. Love the zombie team base. Number 3, best versus favorite sculpts for team bases. Simeon.
Best, I'm going to say Excalibur. Don't ask me why. It's mostly because I really like the team bases that have, like yeah, you can have this figure or that figure, like in this spot. But I really like the Excalibur team. I really love that their switch clicks are painted to like represent like where they're standing on the base. So like they were meant for this base. So like Nightcrawler has his very specific spot. Captain Britain has a very specific spot. Like I just really like that aspect of the team base. The worst, and this goes along with that, is the Avengers and X-Men, because they are just the most garbage. Like it looks like they're just standing on like a trash pile. It's like, remember that time when Wolverine, Cyclops, maybe Professor X, maybe Magic, maybe Danger, maybe Namor, maybe any of the X-Men that we entered here, because it doesn't matter which one's on here because the whole base is gray and it looks like they're just standing on a pile of trash. And like, there's nothing thematic about it. Yeah, it might be really good. It might be real powerful, but like that one, the Avengers one and the X-Men one both were just so mundane. It was sad. The X-Men one, for sure, they could have done like so much better. And then my personal favorite is the Shi'ar one, and that's because that one's got like the big like throne, and it's got like the stairs, and it's got it's just very thematic. It's something where even if you don't use it, you could have it like on your shelf, and it's like a really good display of the figures.
Right on. No, for what I said for best was also an X-Men team base, but I said Blue Strike Force. I really like the half Danger Room look and then the half like trees simulation style look. I thought that looked really sick. I I remember, I don't own the team base, but I just remember looking at it like, wow, that is freaking cool looking. So I really liked Blue Strike Force. For worst, I did agree with Avengers and the X-Men team bases because that's just the way they're built. And to give WizKids a little bit of credit, it was so that way you could mix and match and put any of the LE figures and any of the starter set figures on the bases. They were both the Moon from one of the battles in Avengers vs. X-Men. But I think it would have been really cool if they would have at least added like a big X to the front of the X-Men one, like kind of like an actual sculpted X to the front of the base, and then a sculpted A, or at least, you know, a blue dial and a red dial. Because for the zombies, they at least gave them that weird greenish, bronze color thing for that base to match all the zombie bases.
Right.
So it would have been cool if they would have made like the bases stand out. Because right now, if I am 10 feet away from an Avengers team base and an X-Men team, I can't tell the difference. They look the exact same, you know, because they are the exact same. They just had battles and everything. So it would have been cool to make them look a little more special. I know why they did it. It's because all the figures they were going to add later down the line so they could fit, but still they're very bland as far as team bases go. My personal favorite, even though it's bad, is the Teen Titans one because it recreates the specific Teen Titans comic cover, and I think that's really cool. I really think that's awesome.
Yeah, that's fair as far as the sculpt goes. Because it's got Cyborg, it's got Beast Boy, it's got Robin.
Raven is doing the smoke like right in the middle. There's Titan's Tower in the background. Beast Boy is he's changing into a tiger. It's really cool. I really like the way it looks. Everybody's in their classic like first appearance style costumes.
Another real fun one is the Justice League because it's at like the Watchtower. So it like has cool. Like these like big like see-through like computer panels where like if you hold it up to like the light you can kind of like see these whatever the monitor is showing. So that's I get that.
I didn't love that one and like Villains for Hire just because it looked like a bunch of silver. Like at a first glance, you had to kind of like look at both of those bases to like really get something out of it. Besides like Silver Room, you know. Number 4 is gonna be what did you like that worked or didn't like that didn't work about team bases, Simeon.
So if you haven't figured it out from my responses, what I like about team bases is being able to display figures. I like a figure that like. Maybe it has rubble. So, like, imagine the new Magneto that's on a 2x2. If you could pluck him off of that, like, destroyed construction site kind of, like, base that he's on and plop him onto another base, and then you could plop Exodus on there, and then you could plop, like, Fabian Cortez and the Kleinstock brothers, you know, something like that. I like when it looks really good. I don't like the plain bases. I like really thematic, really just interesting bases with a lot of effects going on, or a lot of like character in the base. What I don't like is when it's just super plain. I do like the fact that you could play it and get different powers from different characters, so you could figure out, you know, if they gave you like 6 different characters to fit on 4 bases, you could kind of like min and max what your team would need. I didn't like that some bases came with like a preset amount. So it was like you have 6 slots and you have like 7 characters. So there was just one character that just never got played. I think if they go into doing team bases more often, they should cut down to like 4 characters, maybe 3 or 4 characters, and then double the amount that could be on there. Because the funnest part about team bases was like figuring out what would be best on the team base from what it gave you, and then being able to like pop those characters off. So like not only is it like, oh, this character gives me this bonus, but if I pop them off, they're also a good attacker. Or like this character doesn't give me a good bonus, but man, I can't imagine playing a game without this character. So what doesn't work is when they don't give you a lot of characters to choose from, and when it's a real boring base like the Avengers. That's the worst one.
Right.
It's so bad. It's real boring.
Right on. I love it for a lot of the same reasons. I like the being able to choose characters, which is why I like zombies a lot. There's there's 16 zombies you can put on a 6-figure team base, so you can choose like which ones you want, which team you want to represent. Another great thing about zombies is you can basically play a Sinister Syndicate theme like team base, which is really cool. I think that's awesome. There's enough Sinister Syndicate like Spider-Man enemies to just throw them all on a base, which is just really cool. And, there's plenty of times where villains have teamed up, where if you want to play a thematic zombie team base, you totally can, which is great. You can play, like, a half-Brotherhood base, too, which is pretty fun. And then, half something else, which is really cool. So, that's fun. The mixing and matching is something that if they ever brought it back, they definitely should keep. I don't really even love them really that much for display-wise, because the only ones I have on display are the team bases I actually own, which is, sadly, just Gen 13, X-Men, and Zombies. For some reason, those are the only team bases.
Oh, I forgot about Gen 13.
Right, and it actually looks kind of neat. Like, it's not the best looking one, but they are on, like, City Rubble, and there is, like, water for the one chick, Sarah Rainmaker, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I really like, the only reason I got that was because I got the, what's his name, John Lynch as a Ellie,
okay.
So I'm like, well, I gotta get his base, so yeah. So that's really cool.
Yeah, Gen 13 is a comic that I read before it crossed over to DC. So that was when I got into Heroclix and I saw they had a team base. I always meant to get the team base, but I had like Sarah Rainmaker, I had Fairchild, I had Grunge, I had John Lynch, and I still never got the team base. So
the base, it's probably guaranteed it's like $5 somewhere.
Yeah,
like, I bet it's super
gotta
cheap.
be super cheap. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I even liked how team bases worked. A lot of people didn't. I think after the errata, team bases are totally fine. I don't think they're that terrible, honestly, to play against. It just depends on what the base itself does. I think the abilities of a team base are fairly balanced. It just depends on what the characters are that are being popped off, really. And yeah, number 5. If WizKids ever brings the team base back, what's your advice to improve the team base to make them better for the game? I basically said it. I wouldn't change anything. I think it's fine. What about you, Simeon? Advice for team base changes to improve the game.
To improve the game, so I'm not gonna say my little spiel about like how like it looks and stuff. To improve the game, I would say just include characters that do stuff that your modern sets do. So like maybe like you have like a character on there that's a retaliator, maybe you have a character on there that's a title character, stuff like that. Don't like mix the rarities again. So like with the old sets they had mixed rarities. Don't like make a team base that's all chases like the zombies. That's silly. Please don't. Especially if it's like something that I really want to have. Yeah, that'd be awful.
Okay. Number 7, more along the lines of just teams, not so much Heroclix talk. In comics, TV shows, or movies, I'm going to add video games to this because why not? Which are your favorite teams to read or watch? I love the Captain America Corps. I like Green Lanterns as a team. Obviously, the Avengers. I don't really like team books a lot, so I don't buy Avengers books at all. I like the Great Lakes Avengers, the West Coast Avengers. I love buying old West Coast Avengers comic books. I think those are great. I love the Team Fortress 2 team from, obviously, Team Fortress 2. They're probably the best team. They're all hilarious. They're all very in-depth, good characters, and they're just all great. What about you, Simeon? What are some of your favorite teams, fictional teams?
I really like the Ultimates, whether it's Ultimate X-Men or like the Ultimates, which in the Ultimate Universe is just what they called the Avengers. I like both of those. Ultimate comics were, they were like slightly edgier because it wasn't main universe, so they could really mess with stuff. They could really like, tear things apart. I'd really like to see a Fantastic Four team base. If it was like the Fantastic Car or whatever that like splits into 4, that'd be really sweet if it like had some sort of mechanic like that. As far as like TV show, movies, stuff like that, really I think that the best kind of team base that we could hope for would be, Star Trek's too far gone, so we can't get that. But I think it'd be really cool if we got like a WWE, like a stable that was like a team base.
Ooh, yeah.
So like, I know we're getting like New Day, and it's probably too far gone to get like New Day on like a team base. But man, that'd be like really sweet if we could get all 3 of them on like a base, and you could use them as like a single unit. kind of thing.
I would love an NWO team base. Man, just thinking about it, that would be so sick. Oh my gosh. All right. Moving on to number 8. If you could be a superhero or villain, what team would you want to join and why? Ooh. I said the Great Lakes Avengers. This would probably be realistically the only superhero team I could join. They do almost basically nothing in Wisconsin, and they sit around and play cards all day. And I like playing cards. A little bit of gin rummy, poker, Texas Hold'em, crazy eights, King's Corners. I love card games. So if they want to play just blackjack, whatever, we don't have to put money on it. It's fine. If they just want to play cards all day, I'll play cards all day. That sounds great. I would love to be a Green Lantern. That's never gonna. I don't think I have any of the quality. Like, I'm pretty good at not eating sugar. What's willpower? What do we count here? Stick into a diet.
If Guy Gardner can have enough willpower to use the ring,
Yeah, but he's got resolve. There's a different. I'm not gonna compare myself to the superhero. He's got iron will, resolve, and stuff. I personally, if Hal Jordan can hold a ring, what willpower does he have? I want to fly a plane. Shut up, loser. Someone got offended, but seriously, what about Hal Jordan makes you think he should have willpower? Is he wants to fly a plane really badly? Sure.
Pretty sure Abin Sur was the guy that gave the ring to Hal Jordan.
Pretty
right?
Poor pick, by the way. It should have.
I think he was so weak that he just couldn't send it more than 12 feet, and so it was Hal Jordan.
Look,
that was
Hal,
the option.
You stumbled upon it. Here you go, bud. So yeah, you're right. If Hal Jordan and Kyle Rayner can become Green Lanterns, I totally could. So yeah, I would love to be Green Lantern. That's just the ultimate superpower. You got to be a space cop, and you got to have the sickest thing ever. I want to fly. Boom, I can fly. I want to pick up all this whatever. Boom, I can pick it up, and I got big old hands now. It's awesome. It's great. It's so sick. I gave 2 terrible reasons. I mean, flying is a great reason, but still, it's really cool. You can wear armor at any time. You always got a little
Chernobyl
boxing glove.
I got big old hands now.
Big old. Shut up. Oh my gosh, that's so.
So I'd want to be a part of the Sword. It's the S.
Why?
W. O. R. D. It's
actually S word.
S word. The S word. That's Simeon. That's the S word. In English, in alien languages, it's not allowed to be said out loud.
Okay.
No, I really like. So I really like Abigail Brand. I really like it's basically Space Shield. It's just Shield in space with a few aliens on board, but it reminds me a lot of Star Trek, except it's more Earth Defense Force, Space Force. If you're into current politics, you could join Space Force on Sword.
Here we go.
Yeah, I would want to do it.
Do you know what the one organization above Sword was? So Sword was above Hammer and Shield, right? They did space. Shield did domestic threats. Do you know
I
what
want to
was
say
above
there's probably Spear. I don't know.
You're close. It's called Armor.
Armor.
Multi-dimensional threats was their thing.
Yeah.
Weird.
Sure, they did.
It's a real thing.
Why don't you just come up with another acronym, Kalder? It doesn't even matter what it spells out. You just come up with another
one. It was in Marvel Zombies 5.
Helmut.
Helmet. Yeah, it's helmet. Shin guard. But yeah, those are teams, ladies and gents. Great Lakes Avengers. I mean, I also had Captain America Corps written down, because if there's an alternate universe version of me that is someone who wields the shield, then I'll absolutely take being part of the Captain America Corps. For the 5 whole issues, they were a team. Either way, they were a great team, and I'll take it. And
I probably could have joined the Deadpool Corps in Deadpool 2.
I could see that.
I could have jumped out a plane. That's all they really did.
X-Force?
No, in Deadpool 2. Did they call him X-Force?
2. They called him X-Force. They were X-Force.
Did they? Oh.
They said X-Force a million times in that movie. But yeah, you could have easily replaced... What was his name? It wasn't
Brad Pitt.
Steve. No. Not Vanisher. The guy who was I'm diabetic or whatever. That was his power.
I'm pretty sure he's the only one that survived.
He technically, yes. I think they went back in time and saved him in the messing around. But like he totally dies in like main universe. It's actually Terry Crews's character Bedlam who like might survive.
Oh yeah.
In like he only gets hit by a bus and it's going pretty slow, and there you see medical personnel like around him, so it's like a maybe he lives. Everybody else.
And we do have a Bedlam in Heroclix. We do. Technically, so we have a Terry Crews.
Terry Crews, yeah, there it is. And those are kind of dissolved a little bit towards the end. But Malcolm Rush's questions. Thank you so much for sending those in. Really appreciate it. And that is almost the end of our show. You thought I was going to forget. Nice try. We have the Dial H for Heroclix birthday calendar. If you got a birthday coming up, let us know, and we'll give you a sexy Arabian birthday shout-out on the podcast. Today, we have a listener, friend of the show, Tyler Murin's birthday today, January 26th. So, without further ado, happy birthday from us here at Dial H for Heroclix. Simeon, roll it.
Happy birthday! Hey! Happy birthday to you!
You can't beat that. So good. To you. It's so good. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to bring us the end of our show. I cannot wait till we're back next week. We are going to have 2 more pre-releases for me under my belt, and I cannot wait to talk about that. Simeon, is there anything you want to say to everybody before we depart?
R.I.P. Tupac and R.I.P. Kobe.
Oh, that's right. Why you gotta end it like that now?
I'm sorry.
Truly Legends. I know.
Yeah.
It's make me look bad. I don't.
There's too long of a pause there. It scared me. That I was breaking the news to you.
Yeah. I remember it. I don't watch basketball and I don't like that kind of music. But yeah, absolutely, they were titans in their industry, so they will be missed, and it's really a shame.
Yeah. Two GOATs. Greatest of all time. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what that meant. Jeez.
All right. With that, Dial H for Heroclix is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock every day, including all the latest Heroclix singles and sealed products. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Happy trails.